Good evening, everyone. The time now is 7:01 p.m. and we are going to get started with our regular Board of Directors meeting. I call the meeting to order at 7:02 now. Do the roll call. Before we get started, I want to take this time to remind all the homeowners, if you would please leave your lines on mute until the end of the meeting. The section that's reserved for homeowner comment and input, we would appreciate it. And if you're not speaking, keep your line muted so everyone can hear the questions and the responses. You may, however, raise your electronic hand at any time during the meeting to be acknowledged during the community engagement portion at the end. So, Brian, would you please do the roll call of officers?
Yes, good evening. LaShawna Spencer, President.
Present.
Thomas McKeithen II. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be joining shortly.
I am here.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Brian Creighton, Senior Secretary. Present.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Section 7 landscaping contract. Brian, I think that was your item.
Yes, good evening again. Excuse me. We received an amended contract for Section 7 from Outdoor Creations. It is for the 2023 year 2023, which actually the year started March of this year, and it's going to go until February of next year, 2024. The pricing that they quoted us was $15,500 minus a reduction of the pond mowing, which brings the total of the Section 7 contract to $11,830, which increases our total contract. So the total contract for this year, Thomas, do you have that price? I can get it. So the total price for this year for landscaping is
Roughly, it's roughly excuse me, $151,000.
that is about right.
Yeah.
Yep, I have $150,818.
That is close enough, sir. 151.
Right. So that's that contract there.
I don't have any concerns about that. Are we going to the next agenda item? I didn't know what we were doing.
Well, I believe what we need to, I believe there should be, do we need a motion on this? I believe yeah, we're gonna need a motion on this.
I motion to
okay.
approve. I'm sorry. You want me to do it or you?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I motion to approve the amendment to the contract, subject to the budget modification.
I second it to open it up for discussion. I did see a couple of emails. I was not able to attend the meeting with Outdoor Creations concerning this contract amendment to add section 7 to our current contract for the rest of the community. Brian did send me a summary of the meeting, which I appreciate. Thank you. I do have concerns about the pricing. I've had concerns about the overall pricing of the entire contract, and then with adding section 7, the additional costs, I'm glad we were able to get it down some by reducing services in other areas. Although that's not ideal, we were able to knock some money off of that. My question concerns the budget modification. What exactly would we be modifying to accommodate these additional costs?
Right.
And
So
does it require a budget modification, or is it simply just reallocating some funds?
that's a budget mod. You got to so that the line items will match the expenditure. You have to do a budget modification to increase the line items so that you don't have a budget pressure. And so we can do it, and I will, at a high level, I will speak to how, and I'm not done. So no one hold me to these numbers. What we will have to do is we will increase. We have to come up with $12,000 roughly of reductions to achieve this. There are two areas where we will reduce. One, in the ground maintenance budget category, we will reduce. There's a $1,500 line for irrigation, and we will reduce that, and we will reduce. The rest of the savings will come from admin. The rest of the savings will come from admin, and the reallocations will go into the.
Thomas, excuse me.
Yes.
You said the rest of the allocations are coming from where?
Will come from administration, the administration category.
Admin, okay.
I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
The increases will go into the lawn maintenance, the contracted lawn service line. I'm not looking at the line item right now. It's $84,000. That line will go to $92,000. And then in the tree, sod, and plants line, that line will go from $48,500 to approximately 50. One second. To approximately $52,500. That was what it's going to get us to get out $12,000. We will reduce 2 line items. The proposal will be to reduce 2 line items in admin, copying and printing. We will reduce that line item, and we will reduce the postage line item and the legal services line item. That's how we will get to $12,000 that we need, and thus there will be no increases in fees or having to do a special assessment. I'm not asking the board to vote on the budget tonight because the budget document is not done. I want to wait until end of the month for Q1 to make sure that there are not any other budget pressures that we need to address as a part of the modification. That's why I said what I said. But we do have to fund this. That's how I would do it.
Madam President.
I do have some concerns about the places that we're going to be taking money. Several different areas. I'm not sure if it's realistic to actually take funds from those areas. For example, legal services, we actually went over our allocated amount last time. So to take funds from that, I'm not sure if that's actually realistic to pull funds from there.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we don't have many options, right? So legal services went over for a variety of reasons, and for a variety of reasons, I don't anticipate any net new contracts this year, and we should not have to engage the attorney as much as we did last year for consultation. A number of our issues are in court right now. So we really don't have many options. You know, that's why I said when I said it, I said this is at a high level, this is what I was going to propose. But that's why I said I was not asking for a vote tonight on the budget modification because the document isn't ready. And I want to make sure that we are all in alignment before we bring it for a vote. At initial pass, those are the areas where I think we can accomplish the task. So I will share the document, and we can deliberate offline and so we can bring it for a vote.
Madam President, I have a question. I have a question in the statement.
Yes, I will wait until you're done. Yeah.
Did we consult with the finance committee, the finance committee, and to look at where we can make up the $12,000?
I'm just returning from travel, and that was my intention. And that's the other reason as well. I'm just getting back from travel, so Mike and I and the team need to talk, and I want to get the Q1 numbers, and I kind of look at it and making sure that we are in alignment. So I was given a back of the envelope, concept of at a glance in terms of where I think we can take it from. But of course, before the final budget comes before the board, I will vet it with the team as always.
Okay, thank you. So,
yep.
So for my statement, as LaShawna had stated earlier, I too share some of her same concerns with the overall with the price on this contract, and now an additional added fee for Section 7, which is a addendum to the contract. I'm sorry, I'm just letting more people into the meeting. So right now we're looking at about $150,000 basically to cut grass, right? That's just way too much money. Hold on, excuse me. We need somebody needed here. That's just way too much money to spend on cutting grass. That doesn't make good business sense, in my opinion. That doesn't make good business sense, in my opinion. I believe, not I believe, it's my opinion. And what I would like to see is somehow, some way getting out of this contract and rebidding this landscaping to where it is a more realistic number of what other communities are paying to cut grass. $150,000 to cut grass is crazy. The number should be more between 90,000 to maybe 110 at the most for this type of service. We're not really getting anything extra, and what we are maybe getting extra does not pan out to $40,000 of being overcharged. So I would like to send this contract to the attorneys to see if we can actually get out of this contract, move away from paying $150,000 plus, because each year is going to go up higher and higher. That's my statement.
Thank you. To your point, Brian, to add on to that, I did do some cursory investigation before this meeting. Because of my concerns about the contract, I did speak to Era, our account executive with Barkin, and she did offer a couple different options that I would like to present now to see if the both of you are willing to explore either or both of them. One of the options she offered was that Barkin at sometimes goes to different contractors and works with them to reduce the prices of contracts by offering them work in other areas to see if we can negotiate the price down. So maybe if they swing them some business from some other area, then maybe they can negotiate our price down. That was one option. The other option she did offer was actually trying to see if we could get out of the contract. They have had to do that before with getting homeowners associations out of contracts. And she said, if need be, they could work on that to see if we could get out of the contract and then renegotiate it with another company, see if they come back with a lower bid. I also did forward a informal bid from a previous contractor that we've used to the board email account. It's someone that the HOA used previously, and they were looking to come back to service us. So they sent an informal bid, and I forwarded that to the board email for your review as well. I'm not sure if either of you saw it. So those are 3 pieces of information that I have that I wanted to present to you both tonight.
Thank you. Let me just piggyback off of that real quick. I believe, and this is from my investigation and talking to, not only talking to other like community board members in the area, but also speaking with different landscaping vendors. The $3,000 discount that Outdoor Creations provided, because we were going from cutting the interior perimeter, cutting the interior pond perimeter every other cut to once a month. That actually reduces it by half. And just doing some numbers, that $3,000 is actually very undervalued, according to my calculations and according to what I received from other contractors and other communities. I believe Outdoor Creation is taking advantage of us. You know, they know that we're a new board, and it's about just getting as much money as they can from Brentwood. I have no problems, you know, voting to looking at sending this to the attorneys, letting Barkin renegotiate, or see if we can get out of this contract and go to a more reasonable contract for the landscaping of cutting this the HOA grass.
Hey, Brian, I looked at it and I looked at the, I'm kind of with you and Lashana, even though I, said, hey, let's move forward with this. But when you have to look at what we gotta do to make it work, right? And Section 7 is not that large, right? Section 7 is not that large. I didn't think that they were coming that high, and that's why I asked for the breakout of services. I don't know.
So let me suggest this then. Let me contact Era tomorrow. Find out if her and Michael can reach out to Outdoor Creations, negotiate this price down some. If not, then we could go to the next step of looking at getting out of the contract either via Barkin and or the attorney. And then go through the process of rebidding it out to different landscaping companies. I just want to note that we are in the season now. Outdoor Creations was in the neighborhood today, laying down mulch and I think cutting some of the common areas. I heard them out there. So if we do go the route of getting out of this contract, we would have to rebid very quickly and get someone in place to make sure that the grounds are being taken care of. But I don't have a problem doing that. I just want us to be mindful.
I just think we need to and just think about the cost of labor and the cost of things. I think, and we have to also realize that this is a very large community, right? And things do look a lot better. I think we've got to figure out the right balance and what the tolerance is. I think the angst is over what number Brian is $15,000 for Section 7, a small area. That's what's concerning. I think if they would have come back with something, at least half of that, I think that would have been a bit more digestible, or even just absorb it. So, but everybody's out for money right now.
So are we in agreement with me contacting Barkin to see if they can negotiate the price down and then going from there, potentially trying to get out of the contract and rebidding it out?
I won't say get out of the contract. I say let's see what they can come back with, and then base the decision based on what they come back with.
I believe that was what Lashana was saying. Am I correct, Lashana?
That's correct. The first step would be to contact Barkin, ask Era to contact Outdoor Creations and see if they can work something out to negotiate the price down. And then we would move from there. I was just saying the next step after that, if we cannot get the price negotiated down, would be trying to terminate the contract and rebid. I'm just laying out an outline, but we would definitely do the first step first.
Correct.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with taking step 1 first.
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay. So I will send her an email and I will keep you guys updated with any progress that's made on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next agenda item was the 2023 budget modification. Thomas, did you want to do a high level? I'm sorry, Brian, I'm sorry.
Can I just interject real quick? There was a last minute budget item. I don't know if you saw that email that went out. I wanted to have a last minute budget item, and it kind of ties into landscaping. So if we could actually squeeze my last minute agenda item in there, which is
Yeah,
wind
Okay.
blowing trash. So a week and a half ago, we had a one episode here in the community. Of course, now we have wind blown trash throughout the community. We need to look at getting the trash picked up, cleaned up, and removed. I want to put that out there, and let's come up with some sort of solution.
Brian, are you saying that trash is all over the community? Help, give me more.
So can I just interject real quick? So that day, comms did send an email out to the homeowners, asking them to pick up the trash in their immediate area. And I did also contact Era with Barkin and had her notify Outdoor Creations of the situation. And alert them to the fact that the next time that they came out, there was going to be additional trash in common areas that needed to be picked up. So she did contact them, alert them that we had an issue with the trash blowing around. And they're aware that they should be picking up the trash in the common areas when they're out here.
Now, are they picking up the trash in the brush and on the brush line area? Because now the trash has moved from the common areas into the brush line. And so, especially on the back end or the backside of the community, there's just, it's just littered with just trash.
I can reach out to her and point out that those specific areas in the brush line, and ask her to make sure that I did not go out today, so I'm not sure if they picked up in that area today or not. So I'm not sure.
I was out earlier. I didn't see anybody picking up trash. And then also, what's the price tag on this trash service? Did she?
Well, there's a lot. There's money in the when they come out, the contractor, they're supposed to make, clean the, take care of the grounds, right? Fine.
Well, yeah, they're picking up small stuff before they mow, but this is a weather related event that knocked trash cans over and spilled the contents of the trash cans throughout the
Got it.
And the wind blew that trash throughout the community.
Oh, got it. I'm thinking just in the common areas. You're saying, okay, I got you.
So I will ask Era to reach out to Outdoor Creations about the brush line and the trash accumulation and see if there is an additional cost to that, and come back to the board with the information, and we can decide how to move forward from there.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. The next item was the 2023 budget modification. Thomas, did you want to speak high level on that?
I kind of spoke to it in the previous discussion. Based on what we ultimately decide to do, we will have to modify the budget to support, to support Section 7. And as of right now, it's the cost is $12,000, and there are certain categories where we need to shift allocations from to make this work so that we don't have to increase fees. That's the short answer of it. And I'll share the document to get to 12 with the board in the next few days, so we can kind of get this done one way or the other.
Okay.
So let's put this on the April agenda, please.
Okay. Thank you. Next was meeting minutes. account executives guidance. So I'm going to try to pull up this email. Era had mentioned about written meeting minutes. And she does realize that we have the meeting recordings on YouTube. But she said she would like to offer her professional advice. It's not good practice to use recordings as a replacement for minutes. Minutes are to reflect actions taken, nothing more. While recordings will show the back and forth discussion and other things that happen during the course of the meeting. And there's also potential liabilities associated with retaining the recordings in lieu of written meeting minutes, which simply reflect the actions of the board. And so in her professional opinion, she would strongly suggest that we have written meeting minutes as opposed to just having the recordings on the YouTube channel for a lengthy period of time instead of meeting minutes. So this is something that I wanted to bring to the board, make you aware of that the management company is advising against this for liability reasons, et cetera, and actually take a vote on how we're going to move forward on this. So I make a motion to vote on whether or not we are going to continue to use YouTube recordings in lieu of written meeting minutes.
I never thought that. Oh, I'll second it if we're just going to talk about it.
Yeah, so we can talk about it. That's fine.
Okay, just open for discussion.
Yes.
You go ahead, Brian. This is you.
So the
I'm sorry.
So the meeting, the YouTube meeting minutes were never designed to be in lieu of the written meeting minutes. Unfortunately, had some things going on with internally to my family. I don't want to really get into the gist of this right now, but we can definitely, look at creating some sort of path forward to get these meeting minutes written and approved and put up on the portal. I'm open for suggestions.
No, I was with you. I was kind of surprised with where this came from because I never thought that was the essence of the comments. I thought that the YouTube channel was designed to kind of give homeowners their insight into what occurred during the meeting. What I suggested and what I suggested during budget season is that, but we chose not to do this, is that we're all busy. We all have lives, and I suggested that we, have a scribe, either a homeowner or we pay, for that administrative support, because we all are volunteers and it does get to be a bit much. So I'm in alignment with Brian.
So I do remember you bringing that up. The reason why we decided against it was one.
I know what the reason was.
There was no money in the budget to pay for that service through the management company. That would be an additional cost. And then two, to have a volunteer scribe. We have been having extreme difficulty getting people, homeowners, to participate, and that is another schedule to coordinate. But we can revisit trying to find a homeowner to be a scribe that would be willing to adjust their schedule to attend these meetings to help out with that. Obviously paying for that service through the management company is not an option. But trying to find a volunteer, maybe there would be somebody that would be willing to volunteer to scribe, so we can look at doing that.
Maybe we can even get an intern, a college student who could check at the College of Southern Maryland, an English student or something like that, to do that as a part of their internship. That might be a way to do it.
Yeah, maybe we can put out a call for a volunteer to be a scribe. That could help out with that. So that's one piece of it. The other piece is, are we going to put a time limit on videos on the YouTube channel? Or are we just going to leave them up there? Will they be up there for a certain period of time, maybe a week after the meeting, and then get taken down? Or are we going to leave them up there like we have been leaving them?
I think right now we've got a lot of irons in the fire. I think that until we get this meeting minute issue resolved, I think we leave them. I think we leave them and work to get the meeting minutes approved. And if we took them down, who would have custody of them? Brian, you would have them.
I currently have them local to my machine. To my computer. I was actually trying to pull up let me actually do this. I was trying to pull up the YouTube channel now and just look at, I mean, the statistics. Videos actually are getting a number of hits. So homeowners are watching the videos.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with the videos being up there. I just think we need to, rectify the the written meeting minutes situation. Homeowners, there are homeowners who cannot attend meetings, and it does provide a bit of transparency. It does help with that. I just think we need to get the meeting minutes done and figure out what the path forward is going to be. So my recommendation would be to leave them as they are, and make sure we get the written meeting minutes done in a defined period of time.
I don't have a problem leaving the videos up. I was actually in favor of and voted for it when it was first presented. I just wanted to make sure that we went on record and we voted on this matter, since it's being brought to our attention that there may be some liability issues that the management company is bringing up. So,
but I don't understand what liability issues it could have when the public school district, they have their meetings recorded. The county commissioners in both Prince George's County, Charles County, Calvert County, St. Mary's County, really all the counties in Maryland have their meetings recorded and they're up for public view. So what liability issues is the management company talking about, and are they just talking hyperbole and not specifics?
She did mention a specific situation. I will try to talk about it as general as possible, but with discourse between the board and homeowners, if a homeowner feels they are being treated unfairly or something along those lines, she mentioned those type of situations specifically that could potentially be a liability issue. I had not looked into that. Charles County, the commissioners, they have all that live. So I didn't even think about that, but it's something that she brought up. That's what we pay them to do. I wanted to bring it to the board so we can just make a decision on it and move on. So,
Well, I'm looking at the statistics and the actual finance committee meeting that was held back in October that really discussed the budget, that actually received 30 views. There's been 24 views from another finance committee meeting back in January. I mean, their homeowners are looking at the videos, and I believe they're going to become better prepared and know what's going on in the neighborhood. So I'm voting to keep the videos intact, not having the videos replace the minutes, but just having the videos accessible to homeowners.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian.
okay. Then that is settled. The videos will stay. And then we will work on a solution, either a time frame or getting a scribe to volunteer to take the written meeting minutes. But the videos of the meetings will stay up there. Okay, next agenda item were the policies that we had the attorney put into legal format, the architectural policy, the electronic communications policy, and the residential lease policy, all of which needs to be signed and returned back to the attorney and sent out to the homeowners so they can be put into effect. Thomas, can you let us know a date that you can have those signed by? So Brian.
I thought you and Brian was going to start the pattern, but you know that was the agreement. But I was going to be last.
I sent you an
I was
email asking you to sign.
Lashana, I don't have the energy to go back and forth. I saw the email. I saw the email. I will sign them. And
Can you provide a date, please?
it will be before the end. Well, it won't be this week. It'll probably be. I'll try to get it done this weekend, and I will let you know. Send you a text.
Okay, so this weekend, so we should have them by Monday, the 27th.
I will endeavor. Yep.
Okay, so Brian, once Thomas says that he signs, if you could please coordinate with him to get the documents. I'll sign last to mail them off to the attorney. And then they have to be sent to a repository somewhere and filed, and then they have to be sent out to the homeowners. The homeowners have to be made aware of what the policies are.
Okay.
Thank you. And let's see, so that was the next 3 items. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that done because we've already spent money on those that have the attorney put them in legal form. So I want to try to get that wrapped up. The HOA commercial sump pump is the next item on the agenda. There was Era contacted me. There's a sump pump that belongs to the HOA that is by can't find the address right now. The section by homeowners on Catskill Street, 3547. So there's a commercial sump pump that was installed there by the developer to prevent flooding from the pond in this area. It was causing flooding in a homeowner's home previously, and that's why the developer installed it. There was some beeping coming from there. And so Era was notified about it, and she was going to send someone out to look at it. She thinks it may be something as simple as just the battery needs to be replaced. But I wanted to make the board aware of it. I did forward the email. And once she knows what needs to be done with it, then she'll let us know.
And this, just to clarify, this is the one, this looks like it came in March the 7th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Has somebody been out there to assess the situation, or has she sent a vendor out there to assess the situation, and have they gotten back to us on that?
She was in the process of scheduling someone to go out there. I need to follow up with her. I have not heard back.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if they have actually been out there or not.
Do we know if the beeping noise is still taking place, or has it
I don't know. I need to reach out to her.
okay.
So I will follow up with her. But I did, my first question was, can you confirm that it's a commercial sump pump, it belongs to the HOA, and she did all of that. I'll follow up with her and let you know if someone has actually looked at it and what needs to be done with it, and if it's still beeping.
Okay, great.
Okay. The last item on the agenda was common area reservation policy. I forwarded a request. Well, the request came into the board email box, but I forwarded ERA's guidance and also a policy, an example of a policy for common areas. So I'm not sure how you guys want to proceed with that. ERA definitely recommends that there is a policy in place for reserving common area space by the homeowners. So I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to review the example she provided from another community. Of course, we could tailor that however we see fit. But she definitely did recommend having a policy in place.
Right, I agree with that, to have some sort of policy. My concern is who's going to manage that space, and what does that look like? And is that going to be an additional fee that the HOA would need to absorb?
So when you say who's going to manage the space, you mean who would take care of the reservations?
Who's going to manage reservations? Who's going to manage to make sure that the tenants pick up behind themselves? Who's going to manage another vendor coming up behind them and clean that space if the space is left, in a way that needs to be tidied up? Who's going to manage that piece, and what does that look like?
All good questions. I wanted to bring it to the board so we could talk about it. Right off the top of my head, I would ask the management company to take care of that. Would there be an additional cost with that? I don't know. That's something that we would have to ask.
No, I agree with Sean. I think that's a management company function, Brian, and what we would do is ensure that those elements are codified in the policy. How you get the reservation and how you get the what the fee structure look like. This is something that we thought about last year, but we didn't do it, just given all the other competing priorities that we had.
Now, is this going to be open to the general public, or is this going to be only for residents of Brentwood?
I wouldn't open it to the general. I would not. Thomas would not open it to the general public. I think that's an amenity that, in my mind, that's an amenity for homeowners. But again, it gets to your point, and how do you, I mean, like, I don't know. I think that that's an amenity for homeowners. But again, it gets to your point, and how do you, I mean, like, you know, I think that that's an amenity for homeowners. But again, it gets to your point, and how do you, I mean, like, I it would be, you would have to, homeowner Brian, you register it, but you're responsible for the party or whatever the event down there, and other folks are going to come in that you invite. I don't know how you would reserve that. I just don't know. It brings about a bunch of other issues, but
We would have to outline all of that in the policy.
yeah, it has to be
So,
codified in there.
yeah, so we would have to discuss this, come to a decision, what we will allow, what we won't allow, who, what, when, where, how, all of that. Outline it in a policy, and then, have the attorney put it up in legal format, et cetera, have it sent out to the homeowners. And so short answer is it's whatever we say, whatever we say is going to be in the policy. I personally wouldn't want to open it up to people outside of the community, because the people that pay their HOA fees should have access to it. And that's just my personal opinion. Again, we would have to outline that in the policy and vote on it, and then have it put in a legal format.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be taking place. And I'm just kind of laying the land out, just to say that there's a lot of moving pieces that we need to think about.
Definitely. But are we in agreement just in that we need a policy around this subject? So I guess I'm looking for either a yes or no as far as moving forward with doing the research and the legwork to establish a policy for homeowners to reserve common areas. Is that even a lane that we want to go down?
For me, I'm not really ready to make a decision because I don't have enough. Number one, I don't have enough information, and I would like to get with the management company and their team to kind of look at this a little bit deeper. I'm not ready to make a vote.
Me neither. I think we need to, we need to vet it. We need to look at what other, what other communities do, and then figure out what we're going to do. I just think it's too premature.
Okay. So what we can do is reach back out to the management company and schedule a meeting with them at some point to talk about this in a little bit more detail, to see if this is a lane we want to go down. Since we did receive a request from a homeowner, I can't remember when the event is, but I think it was a little ways
October.
out.
I've seen that in October.
It's in
October.
I mean,
Okay.
I think that's a special circumstance where we can kind of work through that. This is an issue I would not want to kind of rush through, because you're gonna have to secure it, you have to do all this other stuff. So I think that's a separate, issue on its own.
So I'll respond to the homeowner, let them know that we're discussing the request. And then we can do some research with the management company and get kind of spun up on what's typically done in these types of situations and make a decision from there, how we want to move forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, that was the last item on the agenda, Brian.
The last item on the agenda is fine. I just wanted to kind of circle back around to find out what era the management company has done with the fencing proposal and whether or not we have some bids coming in.
I have not received anything on that. I can follow up with her
Okay,
on the fencing.
right, community fencing.
I do have one thing.
And how about community signage, community signs?
I haven't received anything on that either. I will follow up with her.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thomas, you said you had something.
Yep, I do. Unfortunately, guys, I am resigning from the board effective today. I've got a lot of my job has a number of responsibilities, and I can't continue. It's taken some time to get here. I've been on travel and will have to travel more frequently. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to relinquish my responsibilities. I will not run again. I have to focus on work. And I've enjoyed serving the community where I live. This was not an easy decision, but it's something that I have to do due to my other obligations. So it's been a pleasure to serve with you guys. I hope I've added value to the board. Try to do some things in the finance space to help us get to kind of turn some things around. And so I definitely wish you guys well. And I'll continue to follow the proceedings. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was unexpected. Not sure really what to say, but thank you for your service and your time on the board. It's unfortunate that you feel that you need to resign. However, this is a volunteer position, and if it has become too much for you, I certainly understand that. So we do thank you for the time that you have served on the board. Brian, with that in mind, we're gonna need to have an emergency meeting very soon to discuss the resignation and how we're gonna handle that between you and I and the management company.
Okay. I'd like to say, Thomas, it's been a pleasure serving with you as well. I wish you the best, and you brought some great qualities, and you really helped us out on the finance side. So again, thank you for your service, and take it easy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, at this time, we are going to go into the community engagement portion of the meeting. I do see 2 hands up. I'd like to remind you, please keep your mic muted if you're not speaking, so everyone can hear the questions and the answers that are given. And you can raise your electronic hand at any time, and I will try to call on you in order, but please don't hold it against me if I don't. So I believe I saw Ms. Allen first.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I wanted to speak about the HOA fees. I went online to make my payment. I wanted to make the full payment. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but you cannot make a full one-time payment if you're using a Visa card. They split it into 2 and make you pay 2 separate fees. Didn't think that was fair. If I wanted to make one payment, I shouldn't have to pay 2 transaction fees in order to do that. So I reached out to Barkin. They were not aware of it either. They had to reach out to ClickPay because they thought the threshold was $10,000. So ClickPay said, no, if you pay with a Visa, you have to make 2 payments, pay a fee twice, and that they were expecting everybody to make quarter fees. I'm not making the quarter payments. I'm okay with making a one-time payment. And I don't think we should have to pay double fees because we're trying to pay it off in one lump sum.
No, I agree. I agree with you that should not be. And you should be able to, remit, with one fee. So I would ask my colleagues to please look into that. And, yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Ms. Allen, who did you speak to at Barkin, or who did you contact?
Nicole, thank you for getting me the information. Her name was, I think, Niori, or I can't.
Naomi?
Yeah, I spoke with her. She
Okay.
put me on the email that she sent to ClickPay.
Mm-hmm.
So they were versing back and forth. I think we had about 4 emails. The only way I can make a one-time payment is if I put my banking information in there. I didn't want to give them my banking information because I don't like it sitting in there. And
Okay.
that's the only way you can make a one-time payment. If you use a credit card, you cannot.
Okay. I will reach out to our account executive, Era, tomorrow and research this. And you said Nicole has your information.
Yeah, she has it.
Okay. I'll reach out to Era and try to dig into this and find out what's going on and if there's anything that can be done. I'm not really sure how this works with ClickPay and between Barkin and all that, but I will inquire about it, and then I will get with Nicole to get your information and email you to follow up.
Oh no, it's taken care of now. I just wanted to make
Oh.
everybody who's making that a payment aware that that's not an option.
Oh, okay.
If you want to look into it and fix it, you know, Naomi helped me. We got it done, but I just don't think we should have to incur all these fees if we try to make a one-time payment.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Michael?
Yes, I was wondering if someone could reiterate the amount of the increase in the landscaping to include section 7.
Sure. The increased amount. Do you want the full contract price, or you just want the section 7 increase?
The section 7 increase?
$11,830.
And would you happen to know the complete amount for all contracted services that we have right now? I know that there are several different services that are listed on the budget that you'd have to like add all that stuff together.
It's
to get
139. It's 139, Mike. 139.
Yeah, actually, for
100.
from March 2023 to February 2024, it's $138,988.
Yeah.
Plus
So can you say that one more time?
$138,988. And then
All
you'll
right.
add the $11,830 to that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Theron?
Hey, just real quick, I kind of typed it in the chat, but as far as reserving the pavilion, I understand that a homeowner asked for this, but I would suggest a poll or some type of survey to find out if all homeowners or if the majority of homeowners want this. Because I mean, I understand that if one person asks for it, we don't necessarily have to go and change a policy. So I would ask the homeowners, is this something that they want? Because I think you're going to find that people are not going to be too happy if they decide to go to pavilion in which there are fees paid for, and they say that, oh, you can't go out there today because it's reserved all day for a birthday party. Just want to add that as a suggestion before the board decides. The board gets any heat from the homeowners, like, why are we doing this? So.
Thank you. That,
Thank you, Ron.
oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, Theron. That's a good point. Hadn't thought about that. So thank you. We will definitely take that into consideration. Martha?
Good evening. This is Martha Henderson. I do have a question. It was talking about getting a new contract for the grounds or for the landscaping. And I think you guys came up with trying to lower it through Barton first. And if not, I guess getting another contract. My question would be, if Barton cannot get it lowered or get some kind of resolution to that, and you have to get it, would that also increase the lawyer fees, which one of the things that they was taking money from this year to help with the budget? That was the one question.
So the contract the contract, you have to figure out, what's your reason for out, right? And so, Barkin would negotiate, and then come back to the board and say, these are what our findings are. And then the board would have to, work with the attorney and or Barkin to, determine path forward. Hopefully, there's some sort of, middle ground that they can find. So hopefully they won't have to go down that path.
Sure. And the second thing is, I was finding it hard to get into the HOA application. I did get in contact with POC from Barton, but I'm still having a problem trying to get into the application. So for the art committee, I can send it out to the community so they can use. So if somebody can help me with that, that would be great. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, Brian and I are gonna have to look into splitting up Thomas's duties, board liaison duties. So give us a second to kind of regroup, and one of us will be in contact with you to help you with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Michael?
I'm sorry, I just did some quick math and compared it to the Maryland HOA law, and it says that if there's an increase of more than 15% to what's listed or allocated on the budget, then it will require a budget modification. But if it's less than 15%, then no budget modification would really be required. So it seems like, I mean, I guess if you guys just want to do it, you can, but you're not required by law to actually modify the budget to account for the additional cost for the landscaping.
Well, you gotta figure out how you're gonna, what you don't want to have, Mike, you know this, you don't want to have a budget pressure. So you want to move the money where it needs to be. And so, my recommendation to the board would be to modify those line items where so you can show how you're paying for it or how you actually, paid for it. But if they choose not to, then, you're going to have to absorb the cost, and just be mindful that you've got a, $12,000 expenditure that you're managing. So the happy path would be to, in my mind, would be to allocate it in the line items that where the lines where it needs to be funded, so that you can bill against it. So, and I know I'm aware of what the law requires, but you definitely want to have a clean way of looking at it, so you can really tell, in the out years what you need to do. But that's up to the board now.
Oops, I was muted, sorry. Thank you for that information. We'll definitely look into that. I do not see any more hands at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 8:08 p.m. Thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you for your service.